No worries.
Okay, Ray, I think you're good to go ahead and start. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much to the media for joining us for today's virtual press conference. As we are very excited to begin 2022 with a bang and all heavyweight card coming your way from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. It is Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view. Happy holidays to all of you and your families as we are looking forward to January 1st. That is New Year's Day, but we are thrilled to bring you an all-heavyweight card, 5 fights on the card. It is the main event. Features Luis King Kong Ortiz, the heavyweight title challenger, as he will match up against the former heavyweight champion of the world, Prince Charles Martin, in an IBF heavyweight title eliminator. The co-main event will feature rising heavyweight star Frank Sanchez, fresh off of a win over Efe Ajagba back a few months ago. In October, he will take on the Puerto Rican Olympian Carlos Negron. Also on the card, you have Johnny Rice rematching against Michael Coffey. You saw Johnny Rice pick up a win over Michael Coffey out in New Jersey. Also returning to the ring, Gerald Washington, the USC standout. He will match up against Ali Aren Demirizin. And to begin the night, it'll be Victor Faust against Yago Kalaidzic. The pay-per-view begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time for the low price of $39.99. Also, tickets are on sale at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida at Ticketmaster.com. And January 1st, this event is presented by Premier Boxing Champions and also promoted by TGB Promotions, a man who has been quite busy over the last several years, a man who knows the sport like nobody's business. He has such an eye for talent, has been promoting fights all over the world for decades upon decades, and he needs to be in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. The president and promoter of TGB Promotions, Mr. Tom Brown. Tom.
Thank you, Ray. I always loved Ray. You know, we're here today to talk about the heavyweights, the most powerful division in the sport. There's nothing like a great heavyweight fight. And I'll put a great heavyweight fight up against any sporting event in the world. Heavyweight boxing is back, and on January 1st, we have top ranked heavyweights, top heavyweight prospects, a former heavyweight champion, the giants of the sport. And the main event is a very intriguing fight, and it's all part of a very solid, as Ray said, all heavyweight card. You know, the goal of any fighter is to become a world heavyweight champion or a world champion. Luis King Kong Ortiz, at 6'4", 240 pounds, has twice challenged for that title, and he knows he has to beat Charles Martin to ever get another shot at that again. Charles Martin, at 6'5", 250 pounds, he's the highest ranked IBF contender. Number 2, number 1 is vacant. He's been there back in 2016, and he wants to get back as a world champion. And then, as Ray said, the Cuban Flash, the undefeated Frank Sanchez, at 6'4", 240 pounds, coming off that big win on the Fury Wilder undercard. He takes on the 6'6", 240-pound Puerto Rican heavyweight Carlos Negron, who's been on a 5-fight win streak. So it's heavyweights, heavyweights, heavyweights. The king of the rings. You don't want to miss it. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Mr. Tom Brown. And as we mentioned, to begin the year, who doesn't love sitting down? You're not going anywhere anyway on New Year's Day, so sit down, relax, and enjoy a 5-fight heavyweight card, because I guarantee you someone is getting knocked out. Let's look at our co-main event of the evening, as Tom so eloquently talked about. But this man has a record of 25 wins, 3 losses, 20 wins coming by way of knockout, a 2008 Puerto Rican Olympian. As Tom pointed out, he has won 5 straight. He trains under the guidance of Herman Caicedo alongside Luis King Kong Ortiz, as we present to you, very focused, heading into his co-main event showdown on January 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Carlos Negron. Carlos.
Carlos, tus mensajes iniciales. Ray, you need Carlos to put video, right? We can see him, or I can see him.
Yes, if he can put on his video and also give us his thoughts on his upcoming matchup against Frank Sanchez.
Bueno, Carlos, bienvenido, y contanos un poco tus sensaciones iniciales de cara a esta pelea. Vas a inaugurar el 2022 contra Frank Sánchez.
Bueno, primero que nada, saludo a todos. Gracias por estas oportunidades. Estamos bien, me siento bien. Estamos entrenando, que es lo importante para esta pelea y que esperando salir que salga todo bien, gracias a Dios.
Well, first of all, thanks everyone for having me here, for having given me this opportunity. And I can tell you that I feel very good right now. We are training in a very positive way, and we have very positive feelings heading toward January 1st with the preparation that is top notch right now.
All right. Thank you very much to Carlos Negron. Now let's meet the man who will be standing across the ring from him. His record, 19 wins, no losses, 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Tom also described the fact that this man went out there on the undercard of Wilder Fury #3 in Las Vegas back in October and looked outstanding, defeating Efe Ajagba by unanimous decision. It was a brilliant performance. Sanchez was never in any danger, and he gave Efe Ajagba a boxing lesson. He's an amateur standout from Cuba. He trains under the guidance of one of the best trainers in all of boxing, the famed Eddie Reynoso, out in San Diego. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated rising heavyweight contender, the Cuban Flash, Frank Sanchez. Frank.
Frank, ¿cómo estás? Bueno, acá Rey te mandó flores desde que diste cátedra en tu última pelea a que estabas con la tutela de un entrenador de altísimo calibre como Eddie Reynoso. Contanos cómo todo eso te equipa para esta pelea del 1 de enero.
Nada, de todo bien contento, bien contento por esta pelea que se va a hacer en Miami. Y nada, aquí nos estamos preparando, pues la última pelea demostré todo lo que se hace en el gimnasio, todo el avance que he tenido en esta preparación que he tenido aquí en el Team Canelo. Me siento bien contento, bien orgulloso con esta pelea. Quiero demostrarle a mi público cubano y demostrarle en Miami que estoy entre los mejores, pues, y que el próximo año podemos discutir título mundial. Pues voy a dar todo y ahí estamos bien contentos con todo para esta pelea. Estamos preparándonos bien. Gracias.
We're so happy to be fighting in Miami on January 1st, and the preparation with Team Canelo, it could not be better. We're really happy with that as well. Training is going very well, and I want to show the Cuban people, the Cuban fans that are going to be watching me fight on January 1st, that I can win on January 1st and then go after the world title next year. That's the goal.
All right. Thank you very much to Frank Sanchez. I'm going to ask the guys a few questions, and then I would open it up to the media. When we go to you, make sure to raise your hand, and then when we call upon you, unmute yourself and come out and ask your question. But my first question comes to Carlos Negron. Carlos, what does this opportunity mean to you to take on someone like Frank Sanchez, who's undefeated and really making waves up the ranks in the heavyweight division?
Bueno, Carlos, la primera pregunta es para vos, así que por favor pon el video de vuelta. Muchas gracias. La pregunta es, ¿qué significa para vos pelear contra alguien que está en alza como Frank Sánchez, alguien que tiene tanto fervor y tanta promesa en este deporte? ¿Cómo haces para manejar las emociones de saber que el rival viene en alza?
Bueno, primero que nada, gracias, ¿verdad?, por estas oportunidades. Yo me siento bien, siempre estoy tranquilo porque cuando tú estás bien, siento que no corre peligro. Estoy tranquilo, entrenando y nada, esperando el día que el evento y que espero que el público, ¿verdad?, goce del evento, de la pelea.
¿Y qué opinas de Frank Sánchez como rival?
Frank es tremendo boxeador, todo el mundo lo ha visto. Frank porque se ha ganado pelea tras pelea. Y eso a mí me enorgullece porque voy a pelear con un boxeador bueno, no un boxeador, ¿sabes? Y eso me hace que yo entrene más duro, ¿verdad? Para salir bien en la pelea.
Well, first of all, I'm really glad that we are going to be able to make this fight happen because the real winners are going to be the fans. We want to put on a show for them, and we want to show how capable both of us are. And it's really a source of pride for me to be fighting someone like Frank Sanchez, because he's someone that's tough, someone that, like you said, Ray, he put on a show in his last fight. And I'm proud to be facing such a tough challenge, because it's going to be a great fight. And at the same time, I am just really secure in myself. I'm not nervous at all. I feel at ease and ready to roll on January 1st.
Thank you very much, Carlos. And for Frank, how glad are you to be able to step inside the ring so quickly after your tremendous performance against Efe Ajagba back in October? It's only going to be about a little under 3 months since you competed against Efe Ajagba, but getting back to the ring so soon and continuing to make your way up the rankings.
Bueno, ¿por qué es que estás volviendo al ring tan pronto? 2 meses y cambio, menos de 3 después de tu última pelea. ¿A qué se debe ese regreso tan repentino? ¿Querés subir en los rankings muy rápido?
Bueno, la verdad como la última pelea, pues todos vieron que peleé muy bien y me sentí bien para volver a pelear de nuevo. Pues terminé la pelea muy bien, no tuve ningún daño y la verdad que gané la pelea. Una de esas peleas pensé que iba a ser más fuerte para mí, fue una pelea bastante fácil, la gané bien y me siento bien para volver a pelear ahora a inicio de año, pues, y dije que sí, pues, para poder pelear y poder subir en los rankings y avanzar más en la carrera profesional.
Well, the fight that I had in October was easier than I thought. Actually, pretty easy. I left unscathed. So when they asked me if I was ready to fight again on January 1st, I said yes, because I feel good, I feel ready, and like you said, that I fought really well in that last fight. So I wanted to carry that momentum over to 2022.
All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Andrew Roberts of Swanson Communication to go ahead and get questions from the media. If you have a question, when Andrew calls upon you, raise your hand and unmute yourself, and then you can go ahead and ask your question to both Carlos Negron and Frank Sanchez. Andrew, it's all you.
Thanks very much, Ray. Our first question is going to come from James Bell. Actually, Brittany, if you could please make me co-host so I can give permission here. Beautiful. James, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
James Bell from the Boxing Source. This question is for Carlos. Carlos, you were able to be very active during the time from 2020 up until now. How key was it for you to stay active, being in the gym, and then getting in the ring and having those multiple fights in 2020 and 2021?
Bueno, Carlos, esta pregunta es para vos. Te pudiste mantener bastante activo en el 2020 y en el 2021, más allá de todos los contratiempos que todos sabemos que existieron, ¿no? ¿Qué tan importante fue para vos el poder mantener ese ritmo y el poder estar en el gimnasio, más allá de la situación que nos rodeó a todos?
Bueno, mantenerme activo, eso fue parte de la compañía. Mientras haya salud, ¿verdad? Uno sigue peleando corridito y te mantiene activo. Te mantiene manteniéndote en el ring, no te abandona tanto y nada, y para eso estoy. Yo creo que lo que me queda de boxeo, quiero tratar de hacer lo correcto y que por todo en manos de Dios, que todo salga bien.
Well, I gotta thank my company and the promoters for having kept me active the way that they did. And it was really important for me as far as, as long as you're healthy, then you should be able to fight. That's my mantra. So I thought that it was really good for me to be able to keep going and to keep that rhythm, and hopefully it carries over.
Thanks there, Carlos. And question to Frank. Coming off your win over Efe Ajagba, how important is it to, have this fight against Carlos Negron as far as your position in the heavyweight division right now?
Bueno, ¿qué tan importante es esta pelea para vos, considerando lo que sería tu posicionamiento en la división? ¿Sentís que sería un trampolín importante? ¿Me escuchás, Frank? La pregunta es para vos.
¿Para Frank? ¿Para qué, Frank?
Sí,
Fran.
para Frank, ahí está, ahí lo tengo, sí.
Oh, la pregunta para mí.
Sí, la pregunta es para vos. ¿Qué tan importante sentís que sería esta pelea en cuanto a tu ranking en la división, en tu posición dentro de la división?
Bueno, es muy importante porque me voy a seguir rankeando en los rankings y me voy a mantener activo y pienso que es muy bueno para iniciar el 2022 y que pienso que sea el año que quiero que sea el año para discutir título mundial y pues hacerme campeón mundial.
It is important, and it's because of a threefold thing, where first of all, I get to go up in the rankings if I win. That's really important. Second of all, I get to stay active, and I get to start 2022 on a high note, hopefully. So that's also a key thing for me. And the third will be that I have to keep proving my worth, and this is a very good opportunity for me to do that.
All right, great. Thanks, James. Our next question is going to come from Jake Donovan. Jake, you're going to mute yourself and ask your question, please.
Great. Thanks, Andrew. Actually, I'm going to have the same question for both fighters. You could answer whichever order you prefer. Both of you appeared on the same two shows in 2020. I just wanted to know if you were both on each other's radar at that time, particularly last November when you both appeared on Fox.
Bueno, esto es una pregunta para los dos, pero vamos a empezar con Frank esta vez, ¿sí? La pregunta es, si los dos se tenían en cuenta el uno al otro, si se estuvieron siguiendo a sus peleas o si en realidad no se estudiaron demasiado hasta ahora. Frank, empecemos con vos.
Bueno, yo siempre he estado estudiando el boxeo de Negrón, pues sabía que en un momento nos íbamos a enfrentar, pues, y siempre he estado observando y preparándome también para ver cómo su tipo de boxeo, su forma, pues reconozco que también es buen boxeador y ha tenido varias oportunidades de pelear con peleadores buenos. Y ya, pero bueno, yo me siento superior, me siento mejor, me siento en un nivel bien elevado y con el equipo que tengo, con el equipo que estoy entrenando, que me han ayudado a prepararme bien y avanzar mucho en el boxeo. Me siento que tengo para ser campeón mundial y pues superar todo lo que se te ponga en medio.
Absolutely. Carlos has been on my radar because I had a feeling that I was going to be fighting against him at some point. So I did follow him. I studied him closely. And oh, sorry, could you please put that on me? And well, so I followed him. You're good. I studied him, and in a way, I still feel after seeing him fight, I still feel like I'm superior, like I'm better, and that this is yet another stop on my way to fighting for a world title next year. And then, bueno, Carlos, la misma pregunta para vos. ¿Vos seguiste a Frank de cerca desde antes o solamente desde que anunciaron la pelea?
No, porque yo de verdad a mí me gusta cómo pelea Frank y yo cuando él va a pelear siempre lo veo porque yo digo, yo siempre he sentido que yo me encontraré en el camino, ¿verdad? Esto es un camino esto es un camino que cuando tú vienes a ver te encuentras y ni cuenta te da, pero sí, siempre lo he visto pelear, buen boxeador, y entrenándome para eso, entrenándome para lo que venga.
Yeah, I felt like Frank and I's paths were gonna cross at some point. We were like two diverging paths converging at one point. We didn't know when that was gonna be, but I knew that was gonna happen. I totally respect Frank. I admire him as a boxer. I'm truly looking forward to this fight because it's gonna be a great one. Next question.
Thank you very much, Jake. Our next question is going to come from Jeremy Harridges. Jeremy, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Hi, the first question is for Frank. Frank, you've had some time to reflect on your performance against Efe Ajagba looking back at that performance, what were some of the things that you learned from that experience, and were there certain areas that you felt that you could improve upon?
¿Qué tipo de lecciones sacaste de tu pelea más reciente contra F? ¿Tuviste algo que quizás pensabas lo tengo que mejorar o simplemente fue un paso más hacia otra pelea? ¿Qué lecciones aprendiste de tu pelea más reciente?
Bueno, lo que aprendí con Ayapa, pues, es que no solo en el boxeo, o sea, mucha gente piensa que piensan hablar, no, que un noqueador, que a todos lo noquea, pues, y entonces, pues, uno no se debe dejar llevar por eso, porque yo al principio decía, wow, un boxeador que noquea, pues, bueno, tiene buena pegada, pero todo no es la pegada, entonces, pues, eso aprendí, que no todo en el boxeo no es la pegada, sino también la técnica, que eso es lo que yo tenía superior de Ayamba, y fue la diferencia que me hizo ganar bien la pelea, y los movimientos, la velocidad, pues todo lo supe imponer frente a Ayamba, y no me encontró esa noche en el ring. Le gané fácil.
The most important thing that I learned was to not listen to the outside noise so much, because coming into that fight, I was hearing all this about how he was a knockout artist, how he knocked everybody out. So I was like, whoa, he's someone that knocks everybody out. It's going to be a really tough challenge. And then I realized that in boxing, it's not just about how hard you punch, but about your technique too. And in a way, after I realized that, I was able to steamroll him. So that was the main lesson for me, where the noise from the outside isn't as important as what you can do inside the ring.
And one question for Carlos. Carlos, as far as looking at Frank's style, obviously he's very technically sound, and as he said, he steamrolled Efe Ajagba. Do you think it's more advantageous for you to have this be a boxing match, or do you think it's better if it's more of a brawling type of fight?
¿Qué preferirías en una pelea ideal para vos? ¿Querés ir de frente y encarar y presionar desde adentro a Frank, o una pelea más táctica en la que se miden, se estudian y es menos agresiva en el mano a mano?
¿Esa para mí?
Sí, esa para vos, Carlos.
Pues mira, es que algunas veces las cosas cambian en el boxeo. A lo mejor hay que improvisar y vuelvo y te digo, mientras estemos entrenados, que sabemos qué asalto se puede apretar, qué asalto no, en qué vamos a hacer, qué no vamos a hacer, y estar entrenado es lo más importante.
As far as being aggressive or having a more tactical mindset, what I can tell you is that I'm ready to adapt. I'm ready to improvise. I'm ready to take it round by round and then see whether I need to be more aggressive or if I need to take a step back. It's really about feeling the moment and seeing what's more convenient, because anything I say beforehand is not really conducive to what may happen in the ring from the first round on.
All right, great. Thanks for that, Jeremy. Our next question will come from Willie Suarez. Willie, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Frank, how you doing, man? Willie Suárez, boxeo cubano. Frank, recientemente escuché o leí en la prensa de Miami que miembros de tu equipo dijeron que ya tú estabas listo para pelear con alguien como Tyson Fury, por ejemplo. Mi pregunta es, ¿tú te sientes que de ganar esta pelea vas a estar peleando en el Common Event de Luis Ortiz, uno de los más populares pesos pesados? ¿Tú te sientes que estás listo ya para enfrentar a alguien como Tyson Fury o Anthony Joshua también?
Okay, so, sorry, Frank, go ahead, answer and then responde y después traduzco todo.
Okay. No, sí, yo me siento listo para enfrentar los primeros peleadores del mundo, pues todo han visto el avance que he tenido ya desde que me incorporé al equipo del Team Canelo. He tenido mucho avance, he aprendido bastante a boxear más y ya pude demostrar en la última pelea que estoy me siento en otro nivel del boxeo, pues ya para enfrentar a los primeros peleadores del mundo, sí me siento listo para el 2022, pues ya discutir título mundial y ser campeón.
The question was, do you feel ready to face the best of the best, the Joshuas, the Tyson Furies of the world? And Frank was like, absolutely, I do. Everything that I have learned from Team Canelo and how much stronger they have made me has led me to this point. As I said before, I'm ready to go after that world title. And anybody that stands in my way is whoever, really, where I'm ready for anybody, for any challenge, anytime.
All right. Thank you, Willie. Our next question and last question for this group is going to come from Jim Conlon. Jim, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi, my question is for Frank. Frank, you mentioned you were going to try and fight for a world title next year. Would the most natural fight for you be Alexander Usyk, given that he's not a natural heavyweight? And is that probably the route you might go down?
This question was for Frank, right, Jim?
Yes.
Okay. Jim, Frank, ¿sentís que tu próximo oponente ideal sería alguien como Usyk, que no es un peso pesado genérico, o sentís que te gustaría pelear contra alguien más que no sea Usyk?
Bueno, si la oportunidad se da con Usyk, pues yo estoy listo para Usyk. Me encantaría la pelea con Alexander Usyk.
Hey, look, if Usyk comes, I'll be ready for him. I would love to fight against Usyk.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, please, to both Frank and Carlos. And we can now turn it back over to Ray to start things off with Luis Ortiz and Charles Martin.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Yes, we appreciate Frank and Carlos for their time. We will see them during fight week coming up on New Year's Day. Again, we start off 2022 with a bang on Saturday, January 1st, as we have a loaded heavyweight card, 5 fights on the pay-per-view. It is Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view, a heavyweight extravaganza coming your way from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. We go live on pay-per-view, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time for the low price of $39.99. Now that you've heard from the co-main event, it's time to shift our attention to the main event of the evening. First of all, this man has a record of 28 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 25 wins coming by way of knockout. He captured the heavyweight championship of the world by defeating Vyacheslav Glazgov back in 2016. Since that time, he has gone ahead and he came up short against Anthony Joshua, but he's won 5 of his last 6. Originally from St. Louis, now training in the Los Angeles area. I've known Prince Charles Martin for quite some time. He's all business, and he is very focused to once again challenge for the heavyweight championship of the world, working very hard in trying to go ahead and elevate his way up the rankings. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, with an 80% knockout percentage, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Prince Charles Martin. Charles. Charles, you there?
Yeah, bear with us one moment here.
Right.
Can you see him?
Yeah, we got him. Perfect. Charles, can you give us your thoughts on your fight coming up on New Year's Day as you get set to collide against Luis Ortiz in the main event of Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view?
How you doing, man?
How you feeling? How's training camp been?
Training camp's been wonderful. You know, just working hard, man. I'm used to it by now, so that's it, man. All I know is hard work. When I come in the gym, you know, come into these workout sessions, you know, I just complete it with 100% effort, and that's what we do, man. That's all I can say about that.
I've known you for a long time, but over the past 18 months, I feel like this is the most focused you've been in your entire career. Is that fair to say?
I agree. 100%. I agree.
And what does this opportunity against Luis Ortiz mean to you?
Just it's everything, man. You know, because a lot of guys didn't want to fight me. You know, we try to fight Dylan, we try to fight Andy. You know what I'm saying? We try to fight a few people, and nobody wanted to. So I give this man credit for taking the fight.
And what do you think the fans can expect when they watch Charles Martin step inside the ring against Luis Ortiz?
They're gonna be shocked, man. I always had what it took, and now I'm just putting the main ingredient to it, which is the dedication and the hard work. I always worked hard, but really the dedication, man. The focus and the dedication. And that's what it takes to be world champion, man. I'm coming to be world champion 2 times.
Sounds like you got something up your sleeve, Charles, on New Year's Day. We're looking forward to it, my man.
Oh, man, I'm glad y'all willing to give me a chance, man, because I'm definitely going to show and prove.
All right, now let's meet your opponent. This man is a former heavyweight title challenger. He has an outstanding record, 33 wins, 2 losses. He has been atop the heavyweight rankings for several years, and his only 2 losses came at the hands of the former heavyweight champion of the world, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. Born in Camagüey, Cuba, trained under the guidance of Herman Caicedo, with victories over the likes of Brian Jennings, Tony Thompson, Malik Scott, most recently having stopped Alexander Flores last November in Los Angeles. No relation to me, but this man is a heavy hitter. He has an outstanding amateur background. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Luis King Kong Ortiz. Luis.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh.
Can you tell us how training camp has been like? Martin, can you ask him?
Bueno, primero que nada, contanos un poco sobre cómo ha sido tu entrenamiento, Luis. ¿Cómo te sentís de cara a esta pelea que inaugurará el 2022?
Nada, estoy, tú sabes, siempre motivado por mi pelea, agradecido siempre a Dios y a los angelitos que me dan siempre la oportunidad de seguir en mi trabajo. Y nada, para adelante, muy contento en todo mi trabajo.
I'm just thankful and happy. Thankful with everybody that has given me the opportunity to be on this stage. Thankful with my trainers that have prepared me for this opportunity. And I'm ready to do my job. I'm ready to shine.
Before we get to the media, I just want to know from you, Luis, this is a home game for you because you train in Miami. The fight is at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. How excited are you to be able to fight close to home in front of a lot of your family and friends?
¿Qué tan emocionante es para vos el saber que vas a ser local, el que vas a estar en Miami, vas a pelear en frente de familia y amigos? ¿Eso te motiva cuánto?
Bueno, mi motivación siempre es la misma, estando lejos o estando cerca. Estoy aquí mismo en Miami y a veces se me dificulta ver a mis hijos, a mi familia, porque ellos saben que estoy en un campo de entrenamiento, estoy por una batalla y eso es lo que es, tú sabes.
I'm always motivated. Being near or far away from home, I am absolutely always motivated. And to be honest with you, even being here in Miami, it's tough for me to see my kids or my wife sometimes because of the training camp, how intense it is. So we try to stay focused, and we're training really hard. I'm fighting in Miami. Obviously, it's absolutely great, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, now we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Andrew Roberts. If you have questions, make sure to raise your hand and then go ahead. And once we call upon you, unmute yourself and ask both Luis Ortiz and Charles Martin a question. Again, if you have a question, raise your hand. And then when Andrew Roberts goes to you, unmute yourself and ask your question. Andrew.
Thanks very much, Ray. Our first question is going to come from Jeremy Harridges. Jeremy, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
First question's for Charles. Charles, looking back from your time as the IBF title holder to now, how would you say that you've grown or matured as a fighter?
Wow, that's like it's like night and day, man. like I said, just the dedication and the focus alone. You know, I don't eat like I used to eat fried food. I used to eat fast food. I used to, you know, I don't eat any of that now. No, you know, no sugars, no nothing like that. Just the dedication alone, man. You know, I always worked hard. You know what I mean? But when you're putting it all together, a combination of everything, you know, is just, I feel unstoppable, man.
Question for Luis. At 42 years old, you're still a very elite heavyweight. Have you given it thought to kind of how many fights you feel that you still have left in boxing?
Luis, a los 42 años seguís siendo parte de la elite en la división de pesos pesados. ¿Has pensado en cuántos años te quedan en el deporte o lo tomás día a día? No, tenés que sacarlo de mudo. Lo pusiste mudo, Luis. Ahí está.
Mi mente está firme. Aquel que crea que King Kong no está listo porque tiene esa edad. Estoy aquí y voy a seguir demostrándolo cada vez que me trepe encima del ring que King Kong está ready para aquel que venga.
My mind and my body are in tip-top shape. Whoever believes that King Kong wouldn't be ready or wouldn't be up to the challenge because of his age is dead wrong. Luis Ortiz is ready for any challenge. He welcomes any challengers. And, of course, he welcomes this one as well.
All right. Thanks very much, Jeremy. Just a quick note, Charles, if you could please turn your video back on, we'd appreciate it. We'll take our next question here. Perfect. Thank you, sir. We'll take our next question from James Bell. James, if you could unmute yourself and ask your question.
All right, thanks. First question here for Charles Martin. You talk about your focus through your training camps that you've had, you know, up until this point. Could you go into your development as a fighter being under Manny Robles?
Say that again.
Could you go over your development as a fighter under your trainer there, Manny?
Oh, yeah, just being a well-rounded fighter, you know, being able to do a lot more things and having more tools in my arsenal, you know. And yeah, man, just being disciplined, man. You know, being a disciplined fighter, period. You know what I'm saying? Inside and outside of the ring.
Gotcha. Now, my question for Luis, given your position in the heavyweight division, would you say this fight should get you right back into world title contention, whether through the IBF or maybe the WBC?
¿Sentís que esta pelea, si ganás esta pelea, te va a volver a poner en la senda, en el camino al título mundial, ya sea a través de la FIB o a través del WBC?
Bueno, mi estrategia siempre ha sido la misma, de mantenerme en línea por pelear por los mejores. Este siempre ha sido mi meta. Es de ganar siempre mi combate y seguir.
My strategy hasn't changed. It has always been to face the best and to be the best. And whatever path that takes me on, that's fine with me. The challenge remains the same. The goal remains the same. The strategy remains the same.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, James. Our next question will come from Jake Donovan. Jake, if you could unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Great. Thanks, Andrew. Charles, my first question is for you. So your name has been attached to some very big fights over the 2 years where you unfortunately haven't been able to make it back to the ring. Without looking past Luis Ortiz, should you emerge victorious on New Year's Day, would fights with, say, Andy Ruiz or Deontay Wilder be on your radar, or is the expectation is to go straight to a title?
Yeah. At this point, I don't even want to answer that because I'm really not looking beyond this fight. So I'm focusing on this guy and getting him out of here, man. You know, that's all I see. When I wake up in the morning, I see Luis Ortiz. When I go to sleep, I see Luis Ortiz. So we're gonna handle this business on January 1st, and then I'll be able to talk to you about future things.
Okay, got you. So let me rephrase it then. Is the expectation in 2022 to stay far more active than has been the case in 2020 and 2021?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And then, Luis, my question for you. So I know Carlos Negron, he gives you a lot of great sparring in your gym. Just if you could talk about like the lifestyle that you lead, especially, you know, at Herman Casero's sports complex.
Bueno, sabemos que Carlos Negrón ha tenido sesiones de sparring con vos. Contanos un poco de cómo es tu día a día, tu estilo de vida en el complejo deportivo y en tu preparación en general para esta pelea.
Bueno, todo lo que está en el gimnasio, todo lo que va en el gimnasio me conocen. Ellos saben que no me gusta jugar en los entrenamientos. Me tomo muy en serio mi trabajo, tirar piñazos, es lo mejor que yo sé hacer. Y nada, y siempre busco de que haya una riña ahí dentro del ring. Y si ese día me dan golpe, le digo, me ganaron la segunda vez, y si buscamos siempre, pero nunca, siempre hacer el trabajo que es el que hacemos día a día en el gimnasio. Y ahí terminamos siempre apoyándonos. Tú sabes, sé que él va a pelear con un cubano, y yo siempre le deseo lo mejor. Yo, tú sabes, quiero siempre lo mejor para los peleadores que conozco.
Well, anybody that knows me knows that I don't mess around in the gym. Throwing punches is what I do best in my life, bar none. So I take it very seriously. I don't mess around, and when we get into the ring, I'm looking to throw down. And then if someone bests me that day, if someone hurt me inside of the ring and I was defeated during a sparring session, I say, good job, and then I move on and I learn that lesson and I get better the next day. As far as Negron, I was glad to be able to help him because I knew that he was fighting against a Cuban opponent. So I'm glad that I was able to lend him a hand, and I wish him the best on January 1st.
Great. Thank you, Jake. Our next question will come from Willie Suarez. Willie, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Luis, Willy Suárez de boxeo cubano, campeón. Lamentablemente hemos soñado los cubanos, como yo, en finalmente tener un cubano campeón mundial en los pesos pesados profesional. Todavía puede ser Luis Ortiz ese cubano y sin sobrepasar a Charles, que es tu próximo oponente. De los campeones, ¿con quién tú crees que puede ser que tú puedes pelear y finalmente convertirte en campeón mundial?
Bueno, gracias a ti. Yo soy, lo que tengo en mi mente, mi sueño no se me va a ir hasta que yo no me retire del boxeo. Lo mío es eliminar el obstáculo que tengo al frente y seguir adelante, siempre poniendo a Dios por delante y dándole las gracias a mi manager y a Luis de Cuba Jr. y a Jaime, que son los que de verdad pueden hacer que mi sueño se cumpla. Principalmente es ganar en la pelea enero 1 para seguir adelante.
Gracias, Luis.
Bueno, the question was about how ready do you feel to be able to challenge for the world title, something that many Cubans, hope and that they dream about. And Luis was saying that nobody is ever going to be able to take away my dream away from me, ever. And I'm going to continue to get ready, and I'm going to continue to focus on my next challenge, which is fighting against Charles Martin, and then keep going, keep putting on that effort, because if I do, then I have no reason to think that dream won't come true. So that was what Luis was saying about being ready for the title.
All right, great. Thank you for that, Willie, and Martin, for your help there. Our next question will come from Ismail Abdul Salam. Ismail, please unmute yourself. You can ask your question.
Thank you. First question is for Prince Charles. You mentioned earlier that you've had a couple fights that you were trying to get that just fell through with Andy Ruiz and Dillian White. A lot of other fighters would have taken that time and maybe just taken a lower level fight just to stay busy. What made you hold off on that, knowing that eventually you get an opportunity like this down the line?
Well, I'm I'm already I'm in my prime right now. You know, I'm at the peak. So I don't believe in just fighting the lower level fighters right now. You know, I want the big fights. I wanna, you know, be out there, leave with a bang, be a 2-time world champion. I just got big plans and big expectations for myself, and I don't believe that wasting that time is necessary at this point in my career in life. So that's the reason why, you know, I did not take, you know, a little tune-up fights and stuff like that. I don't need them. You know, we ready to rock and roll, baby.
Thank you. And my last question is for Luis Ortiz. Luis, you've constantly over the course of your career had to fight taller fighters and fighters with reach advantages. So you're having that again against Charles Martin. What about your style is so effective against bigger fighters? And also, why do you feel mentality-wise you're aggressive than what we normally see with most Cuban fighters?
Estás acostumbrado a pelear contra oponentes que tienen más alcance y que son más altos que vos. Esta no va a ser la excepción. ¿Qué tanta ventaja o desventaja sentís cuando afrontás esta situación? Y después, ¿cuál es el rol de tu mentalidad para afrontar este tipo de desafíos?
Yo no, sabe, yo estoy preparado para la guerra. Arriba del ring, que los boxeadores tienen sus diferentes estilos. Walter tenía su estilo, otros que eran de ese mismo tamaño tienen su estilo. Charles sé que tiene su otro estilo. A veces uno entrena para un estilo y cuando viene a la pelea sale con otro. Entonces la mente mía es como, vuelvo y te repito, es salir a hacer lo mejor de mí, que es tirar golpe. Y salir a destruir al contrario.
I'm ready for war. I'm gonna come out and give it all I got. And as far as the advantage or disadvantage of being, you know, out of reach or with lesser height, it really doesn't matter because you can prepare for a certain style and then all of a sudden you step into the ring and it's a completely different thing. My mentality is to be ready. My mentality is to take on any challenge that comes my way. It's really as simple as that.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Ishmael. Our last question is going to come from Jim Conlon. Jim, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
My question is for Luis Ortiz. Luis, in the last year or two, do you feel sort of disrespected and angry that people haven't mentioned you in the World Heavyweight title picture? All the talk has been about Fury and Joshua and Usyk and Andy Ruiz. Do you feel a bit aggrieved about that?
Bueno, últimamente, en el último par de años, Fury, Usyk, Joshua, Andy Ruiz han acaparado lo que sería la charla sobre el título del peso pesado. ¿Te sentís como que eso que es una falta de respeto? ¿Te sentís enojado por el hecho de que el nombre de Luis Ortiz no forma parte de ese club?
Solamente le digo que me evitan, porque no sé que supuestamente que yo soy, que me evitan, no sé cuál es la razón, será porque los panties que usan se le van el elástico.
You know why my name isn't among those that you mentioned? Because they avoid me. I don't know why they avoid me, but they do. Maybe it's because they got their panties in a bunch. I don't know, but I'll be ready for when they call my name.
All right, perfect. Thank you for that last question, Jim, and to all the press that joined us today. Thank you very much to both Luis and Charles for taking the time, and I'll turn things back over to Ray to wrap it up and close.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to Charles and Luis. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys during Fight Week 2 heavyweights that love the knockout. 80% knockout percentage for Charles Martin, 75% knockout percentage for Luis Ortiz. The heavyweights getting it on for an IBF heavyweight title eliminator live on Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view. Do not miss it. $39.99 for the low price. Start off your 2022 with the bang with 5 heavyweight showdowns, including Charles Martin and Luis Ortiz in our main event. On behalf of our entire team, Charles Martin, Luis Ortiz, also want to thank Frank Sanchez and Carlos Negron. They are the co-main event for joining us. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you during fight week of this heavyweight extravaganza down at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Again, $39.99, the pay-per-view price. We start at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Also, tickets are still available at Ticketmaster.com if you want to be in attendance in Hollywood, Florida at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. It is presented by Premier Boxing Champions and promoted by TGB Promotions. Have a great one, everyone, and we'll see you during fight week down in South Florida.
Thanks, guys.